guys, so I'm tidying my room right now. I didn't realise how badly I'd let it get neglected, and this is the point where I'm like, well, that's a problem. The fact that I'm going to Canada in 2 days and I've got, well, yeah, 2 days, give or take. Today is Monday, I'm going on Thursday, so last working day is tomorrow. Wednesday is off, but I've got to prep for final D&D session of the campaign, and I was like, I've got to pack, and I've got to also kind of start prepping to move out, because I'm moving out soon. And so, yeah, I was having a proper tidy up, and one of the things I wanted to sort out is my old dressing up books, to have a rummage and see what might and might not be useful for my Halloween costume. I'm going to take my shoes off because sitting cross-legged in heels is uncomfortable, even though they are really cute shoes. So yeah, I'm going to have a riddle through my dressing up books, and I'm going to see what's in there. And I have decided on my costume. Those of you who did comment, thank you. So the thing I kind of wanted to do was, well, there's a couple of things that inspired it. One, I kind of wanted to go with something more mythological this time. I've done a lot of like the classic witches and stuff, and then trying to find something mythological that's also scary. It's kind of a bit of a challenge, and also could be kind of cute, and is it like a concept that you'd be like, oh, you're a blankety blank. And I went to D&D on Saturday, and I went to the lazy version of my elven cleric, and she is a thunder and tempest cleric, and her deity is the deity of oceans, and I was like, I'll bring my trident that I helped made last year that I would put a clip in of that said trident. It's currently still in my car down on the drive, but I brought the trident, and I was like, I've forgotten how cool this trident is. I'm really proud that I made this, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll go with something kind of aquatic, because I know Tor and Winston are doing aquatic themed stuff, and I was like, ooh, so something mythological, something aquatic, something that I can justify bringing a trident, and I was like, hey, what about a siren? So that way I can do something kind of cute or kind of classical, depending on what things I can dig out, and kind of put it together. And I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to go more like deity ocean-y thing, because I've got a trident, so I might go like more like ocean, like goddess of shipwrecks, or I might go more like traditional kind of creepy come hither type thing. But I'm going to have a look through my dressing up books and see what we have, and you guys get to get an insight into my old dressing up books. So yeah, let's have a look. So this is literally, this is an old chest that used to belong to my granddad. So it's, I won't show you my bed because it's absolutely covered in rubbish. But there we go. So it is open. So the first thing first is a pair of broken fairy wings. I could use them because there are some, obviously there are sirens that have been shown to have wings, but I'm probably not going to bring those. Okie dokie, we've got loads. This is clearly not very organised. Okay, so we have some scabs. I'm not going to bring those. We have this is like a hippie skirt. I might bring this actually. It depends on, again, if I go like more kind of shipwrecked, kind of piratey style, this might be quite good for that. So it's like a wraparound skirt. So it's got a drawstring around the top, and you kind of wrap it around. It's quite nice. It's quite kind of oceany. I'll put it in the maybe pile. Then we got, this is a clutch bag that went with, I went to a Jane Austen walk a few years ago, and I had a dress that matched this clutch bag. So it's got like a little kind of drawstring, and inside it's got some gloves. There we go. It's got my Jane Austen full-length elbow gloves in there. I think that's all that's in there. That feels like the right weight. A red shiny tie, which belonged to my sister for years when she was going through her emo phase. She used to look, it was the emo phase, but it was also like the early 2000s where like waistcoats and ties were really in. So she'd used to rock this with a black waistcoat and her black hair. And yeah, I was in with the emo kids. Little fairy top. This again belonged to my other sister. So it used to have like butterflies and stuff, like glittery butterflies and stuff at the bottom, but it doesn't. But this is very, very, very Disney princess / early 90s. So this is completely see-through, this top bit. Like it's like none of us ever had the figure to pull off this top, but all of us tried. Let's see, what else do we have in here? We have okie dokie. So this is a pinafore dress I made for Halloween. Ooh. 4 years ago. So I went as Mildred Hubble from The Worst Witch. I don't know if anyone knows The Worst Witch, but yeah, I made this pinafore dress. So like, I don't know how well it's coming up on camera, but there we go. And it's got a Mildred Hubble name badge on it. And yeah, I made that from first principles. I'm pretty proud of that. and it's all kind of pretty basic, and I bought a blue shirt to go underneath it. And again, I would show a clip, but I can't because editing's not a thing. We have a kind of witchy, vampy, long thin dress. This dress I bought when I think I was 13 or 14 for Halloween. So it's a straight down black dress. I just bought it from a charity shop. It's incredibly warm. It's like thermal, which is great for Halloween. And I attached some lace to the front, and I put some black lace in my hair. And it was the first Halloween I could really like go all out. I was 13 or 14. So technically not allowed to go trick-or-treating, but it was the first year I was really allowed to go trick-or-treating, so I did like a ghost bride type thing. I had, again, black lace in my hair, black lace around the front, and I think I added a train to that dress. It was all like pinned on. This is a dress that I used to love as a kid, so it used to come with a top. And I really, really loved it. It was a cast off from someone, and it was kind of tatty when we got it, but it's like all flamey and pretty. So I took the top off because the top kind of fell apart, and I put some elastic round the inside, so it's kind of just like a little kind of orangey flamey skirt type thing. Hindsight, I should have used this for my shell cosplay instead of making another one from First Principles. I don't know where this one was when I was working on my shell cosplay. That would have saved me a bit of money, and it's also super duper cute. Okie dokie, what else do we have in here? This could go on for a while. We have a little black lacy skirt. I bought this for Halloween when I was at uni. I just wanted something pretty basic. It's actually a children's skirt, but when you wear it on your waist it looks different. It's very elasticated, very synthetic. It's from Asda, I believe. So that would have been 2010, 11-ish. So I wore like a corset top with it, and then the skirt on the bottom for like a clubbing gothy sort of outfit thing. Oh gosh, it's gonna go on for ages. Random white shirt. I think this belonged to my sister for years. It's basically like, it's a pretty basic shirt, but it's a good filler thing for like Jedis or whatever. We have what appears to be a homemade tie. I think this was the first time I ever made a tie from First Principles, so this was a mock-up, just to see whether or not I could get the style right. My skirt's quite hitched up. That's embarrassing. There we go. There we go. But yeah, it was just basically to get an idea of how I would make a tie from First Principles, and it's made out of cheap gold fabric that I think I had left over. We have, okay, so this is going way back. This is for GCSE drama. We did Blue Remembered Hills, which is a play about bitchy 7-year-olds during the Second World War, and I played the plain one. I can't remember, she had a name like, it wasn't Mildred, it was a name like Ethel, or, I'm still talking about the worst witch. She was the plain grumpy bitchy one, so I stained this shirt using tea bags to make it look really grungy and dirty, and then the pretty one got to wear the pretty dress, and I got to be the bitchy one, which was fun. Oh blimey, okay. So this was the start of it. I was doing a Femme Ezio Auditore di Firenze cosplay that I dreamt about for ages, and I did loads of planning, and I prepped it, and I worked out like patterns and stuff, and I never finished it. So this is the skirt. So it's got a wraparound at the top, and then it would hang. So I don't know how well you can see this, but it's got like the classic Assassin's Creed shape at the front, and then the longer tails at the back, and then it's all satin on the inside and white satin on the outside. And I was really proud of it, but I broke so many needles hemming it with this red velvet, and then it never looked how I wanted to, and I couldn't work out how to do the neckline properly and do the shirts and everything that need to come with it. But it's actually really cute. Like, in hindsight, I'm relatively proud of this, but I never actually finished it. So maybe I'll do a lazy Assassin's Creed cosplay at some point. But yeah, I put a lot of effort to it, and there's sketches upon sketches of me planning a Femme Ezio Auditore costume. Somewhere in here, I suspect, is the top half. There we go. So I started on the waistcoat for it. So that's the inside, and if I flip it around, so that's the outside of it. So it would have pinned at the front there, with the waistband going across, and then I was going to add like a big red collar. And obviously the hood, but I never finished it, and it's a shame because I put in a lot of effort, and it was a dream thing for a while. Oh, okay, so this is the, wow, this is going to be a very long video, I apologise. This is the Jane Austen walk dress, so it matches the clutch bag from earlier, so it's big puff sleeves at the top, and it's got a zip. It was a gift from my mum. She bought the pattern and got a seamstress to make it for me and had it all measured up so it fitted. But obviously, when you're going to a Jane Austen walk, oh, you know, you don't want to have any anachronisms, and there I was with a big old zip down my back. So I got a lot of tut-tuts from these very professional costumeteers. Costumeteers? That's not a word. That's like musketeers, but with costumes. So all these, you know, very, very traditionalist costumers doing a traditional Jane Austen walk, and I had a zip down my back. But there we go. It was a nice dress, and it was fun to do. Oh my gosh, we're still going down. Okie dokie. So this was a 90. I bought this for a lazy costume a long time ago. So it's just basically it's from Tesco's. It's basically just it's like a summer goes over your bikini type dress. But I've used it for many things. I've used this for a lazy Assassin's Creed. Well, that was going to be the Assassin's Creed like undershirt. And then I used it for a ghost costume. I've used it for like the underparts of an a Jedi costume. Basically, it's a good go-to kind of, you know, peasant gown that you can wear pretty much under everything else. This is a swing skirt that I had for A-level dance. We did a 1950s swing dance, so we had this to dance in. It was good fun, and yeah, I've had that since I was 17, 18. This was also from the same thing, so you had to do 3 performances. So one of them was a group performance, which was the swing dance, and then I did a piece called Silence is the End of Our Song, which there may be parts of that costume still in here, or I might have gotten rid of it. We'll see. Which was kind of, it's about Chilean warfare. And that was a really beautiful dance. And then I also did this skirt was for I can't remember what the name of the piece was, but it was a piece where it was all about elements, and like I had to pretend to be like a photon dancing around, and so I had like dangly ribbon bits, and I had a giant pom-pom in my hair because I was meant to be like a photon popping around from place to place. I was not a good dancer, but I made that costume again from First Principles for A-level dance. We have a witch's hat. This is Mildred Hubbell's witch's hat. So it's a super cheap Tesco's like hat, but then I added like the kind of school colour ribbons and put black over the top, so it's slightly more expensive fabric, and added the trim, and I think it turned out way better than it was originally. It was a super cheap hat. This is a jacket that was to go with the Jane Austen walk jacket, so it's got lace and buttons, and it was just a cover up because the Jane Austen walk is mid-September, so it could get quite chilly. Oh gosh, so this was made for a colleague. A colleague said he was going to a Disney party and was going to go as Woody, so I made this for him. It is awful, it is shameful, it is a bad bit of arts and crafts, but he asked me to make it, and I was like, yeah, sure, and then I only had like a couple of hours, and it's bad. I will confess, had I really thought about it, and had I offered genuinely, what I should have done is go out and actually buy some like proper print fabric rather than, so this is like patches stuck on to make it look like Woody's waistcoat. It's bad, it's really bad. Then we have more red ties. So this is my red ties from my old workplace. So in my old job, we had to wear red ties for the first 2.5 years of me working there. So I have more than one tie. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so much in this. This just goes on forever. So this is from the So the skirt I bought for the play I was talking about earlier, where I played the plain one, they'll go with the brown shirt. But then what I did was I turned it into a dress, which I insisted on them wearing on holiday, and it was really embarrassing. So it's got like a halter neck top to it. So I don't know whether or not you guys can tell. So obviously I had to wear a shirt underneath it, and I was really proud of it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be like a designer. And it's got like a cross hatchback. And it's awful, and I can't believe my mum let me wear it on an aeroplane to wherever it was, Madeira. Got on a plane wearing that. I can't believe it. There are photos of me wearing it, and I'm just like, that's so embarrassing. This is my first ever cosplay, you guys. My first ever cosplay was Rize from Persona 4 or Persona 4 Golden. And so I bought the black jacket and then I did all the stitching because they've got the kind of stitching pattern. And then I did the kind of back bit with the little symbol for the school. And I dyed my hair red because I didn't really understand that good cosplays can include buying a wig. I was like, no, good cosplays mean I go all out. I'm going to dye my hair red. And I dyed my hair a deep dark plum red that lasted for ages. But yeah, like in hindsight, that's actually a pretty good costume. Like it's simple and it's all hand stitched. And yeah, I did pretty well on that. Oh my gosh, still going down. This is a bit creepy. So this is a genuine nurse's apron. My grandma and my mum were both nurses. So this is an actual, genuine, was used on a ward nurse's outfit. There are genuine stains on this thing. So what would happen is you get safety pins and you pin it in there and there, and then you pin in the buttons at the back, so it just kind of goes over the front of the uniform. Yeah, so if you want a bit of creepy, that's a bit of creepy for you. Oh gosh, still going down. Okie dokie. So this is a belt I made, so it's got feathers on it. So I did a hipster owl costume for, it was a costume party where it was all like animal themed, and like everyone did like jungle animals, and I did a hipster owl. So I did this as my waistband, so I wore a brown skirt and a white shirt. And then I tied this around my waist a couple of times, because my waist is my best feature. And yeah, it's feathers, and I wore a big, I don't know whether or not they're in here. If we do find them later on, I did a pair of 3D glasses and popped the lenses out and added feathers and stuff to it, so I had like big hipster glasses to make me look owl-like.